Welcome to our channel. I'm Steven. I've been living in the Japanese countryside with my wife and daughter for a year now. So let's rewind the clock a bit. A year ago, we started our journey from Nara, where my wife is from, on the Japanese mainland, to Kagoshima city, on the southern tip of Kyushu island. From there, we'd be taking a ferry to the remote island which we currently live on. We planned on stopping at a few places on the way down, so our journey was going to take us around 5 days or so.
Buildings, yeah.
Concrete jungle.
Yeah,
We're going to the total opposite. Before we moved here, we had been living on the main island of Okinawa for a number of years. First stop on our journey was Onomichi City in Hiroshima prefecture. We spent some time at the famous Senkoji temple. It was around mid-March, so some of the cherry blossom trees were in bloom. Watching this footage back now, I remember how much Mia used to enjoy being on my shoulders, or maybe she just didn't want to walk around so much. Great views from high up of the entire city and sea crossing bridge. We ate Onomichi Ramen, pretty famous in these parts and around Japan. We enjoyed using the local onsen hot spring bath, finding an area with good food and enjoying the local onsen is quite a typical Japanese way of traveling around the country. Next day we took a trip to the Motonosumi Inari shrine. We had a quick and simple lunch at one of the many service areas along the highway. The shrine is located right next to the Sea of Japan and is famous for having a tunnel consisting of 123 torii gates. We had a go at tossing coins into a box located at the top of the tallest torii gate. Being surfers, we also wanted to check out some of the surf spots around this area. We crossed the Tsunoshima Bridge to check out the little island area on the other side. Mia was having a great time with her auntie who was traveling with us. We made our way to Shimonoseki city, where we'd be staying for the night.
Shimonoseki station.
Tasty local fugu fish for dinner. The next day we crossed from Honshu, Japan's largest island, to the smaller southern island of Kyushu. We stopped in Beppu city, which is in Oita prefecture. The area around Beppu city is known for having literally thousands of onsen hot springs. We enjoyed chicken tempura for lunch and a walk around one of the many natural hot springs.
これはちょっと入られへんで。
Unfortunately, we were a bit tight for time and couldn't actually use any of the public onsen bath facilities around Beba.
ありがとうございます。はい。美味しいかな。
We continued on down to Miyazaki prefecture and the area around Hyuga city, where we'd be staying for a couple of nights. Yumi and I managed to surf, and we all enjoyed the local fish and meat dishes on offer, as well as more time at the onsen spring baths. After leaving Miyazaki, we made the relatively short drive down to Kagoshima port to catch our ferry, bound for the remote island of Tanegashima, where we live now. What you can see here is footage from a few days after we arrived. I suppose it doesn't look too bad on camera, but we were freaked out by the place a little and had certainly never lived anywhere like this before. The house is 64 years old and the rent is 20,000 yen, or around $130 per month. It was dirty, gloomy, and quite damaged in parts when we arrived. But for sure, the first major issue for us upon arrival was realizing what we were sharing the house with.
Down this way. Well, maybe I can use the... Let's go this way. Let's go this way, Mama. Other way.
Huntsman spiders everywhere. Even large females carrying their egg sac, which I had to Google to even work out what the heck it was.
She might have come in last night and opened up the sack there.
サックどこ行ったの?
Centipedes, the likes of which I've never seen before.
すごいめっちゃ大きい.
Huge.
He's not the...
No, they don't bite those ones.
But でも still.
Why there? Actually, the long-legged one is harmless. It's the other one you need to watch out
They
for.
just come back, eh? They just come back.
I'm dreaming about them as well.
いややだ。ほんまや。めっちゃでかいやん。
Sleeping. The venomous Mukade centipede, which can deliver a nasty bite.
Sponge rail there.
いや絶対に気をつけないとダメじゃん。もうやだ。
He can just about give you a little nip if you happen to
ほんまや
grab
な。
him.
We really weren't sure if we'd be able to stay here and felt uneasy a lot of the time.
No, man.
What?
Where they come from now, man?
めっ
Yeah.
ちゃ怖いやん。
Where did you see it?
There.
Huh?
There.
Where?
There. In the shelf.
ここ?
And it fell down?
Yes.
We even looked at some other properties, but nothing really worked out.
My God, that is
Oh
a
my
monster.
god. えー。
Is that the biggest one we've ever seen before?
いやこれはすごい
Hiding。from the cold. I think he's caught somewhere.
え?
Luckily I closed that door there now.
よかった。いや。できる？気をつけてマジでスティーブ。
Mia was fine from day one, but Yumi and I couldn't sleep well and never really looked forward to coming back to this house. Even taking naps in the car was met with some unwanted surprises.
Oh, shame.
But ultimately, we decided to really have a go at making this place feel more like a home, as well as accepting what comes with living in the Japanese countryside. We started sealing up all the obvious gaps where we noticed creatures coming from and retreating to. And used a net at night, which eased our minds and helped us sleep better. The next issue was with the water. Our bill the first month was about 7 to 8 times what it should be, so obviously there was a leak somewhere. Luckily the owner covered the repair costs for the leak, and while the plumber was working and moving things around, we clearly noticed other damaged areas that needed fixing. So we started doing some DIY renovations in the hope of making the place look and feel a little better. First up was the laundry room that got a makeover. This was kind of our starting point as DIY beginners. The coverings and handles on the dated kitchen unit were filthy and grimy, so they all got changed. As well as the shoji door sheets and most of the tatami mats. The flooring in the corridor was dirty and moldy, so that too was destined for the rubbish heap. We plastered over all the wood paneling in our bedroom and changed the Fusuma door sheets.
I'm not doing it again, man. I'm trying to help.
And although it's an ongoing project with this house, we'll probably always be spotting things that need doing. It's definitely brighter, more comfortable, and feels more like a home than when we first arrived. Outside the property, in the beginning, we needed to cut down a lot of bamboo, which was encroaching onto the power and internet lines. To be honest, after doing this, I felt kind of overwhelmed by the whole state of the mini jungle we had growing around the property. I didn't know where to start and had zero experience clearing land, so I just kind of left it for a few months. But the challenge was there in the back of my mind, and I wanted to see a cleaner line around the house. So armed with some very simple tools, I just tried to clear the noise in my head and get down to work. Cutting trees and clearing the banks all around the house. I quickly learned that winter is a great time to do this, avoiding the heat and humidity of summer when the Japanese countryside goes into full jungle mode. But I'll keep on top of things outside this season as the warmer weather approaches. Something Yumi had planned on starting soon after we arrived here was a small natural farm. She chose an overgrown patch within the property and got to work clearing the land and building her farming ridges. It was her first go at growing anything, so no high expectations for a big harvest from season 1. But lo and behold, we did manage to get a small amount of produce from the farm. Our daughter Mia also likes helping Mom out there. And we enjoy eating whatever seasonable harvest we get from our farm. Fast forward to now, and we're getting a few more goodies, including garlic and potatoes. Of course, life is very different here, as you would expect, compared to the city. It's very remote and quiet in the countryside. There's not many people around, and you don't obviously have the choice or convenience of many things in the city. Sometimes bad weather stops the ferries running, which bring almost all of our goods to the island. Supermarket shelves start emptying, online orders are delayed, etc., etc. And I suppose you can feel a little cut off from the rest of the world. But the flip side to that is the beautiful nature, fantastic uncrowded beaches, good surf, being surfers of course, and friendly local people. It seems to be easier to live more in the present here. That's how Mia and our dog Rufy are every day without fail. So to kind of sum up our first year here, we've tried to make a comfortable home for our small family plus one dog. We sure have learnt a lot through different experiences and challenges, and are looking forward to the future and sharing more countryside island content with all of you. We really appreciate your support. See you next time.